What's up, pen pal? I'll say we've got an exclusive for you. I think this is the first review anywhere out there of the Hungoblin Mono. Hungoblin is a maker in the community on Reddit. He goes by Silent Amphibian on Reddit. He is in Hungary, and this is the Mono from him. It is a one-piece pen, as you can see here. Nothing unscrews. To change out the refill, you would unscrew the bolt here. It is a bolt action pen. Smooth on the action there, no complaints. Uses this T10 screw as the bolt screw and how you're going to get the refill in and out. You can see at the top here, when you are writing, the bolt goes down and does expose this hole right here. Just to give you an idea, it does go in to the hole there. So that is exposed, a little different than something like a USG that has the bolt going higher than the pen, so when it is fully extended, you are still above the top of the pen rather than all the way down. So again, showing that, there you go. It's got this nice tapered body here, very similar to an Opmog. This is probably the most similar pen I have to the Mono, and probably the one that's most similar to it anywhere. This is brass. This is copper chromium zirconium. Give you a little comparison there of the color. This one is clipped in a click mech. This again, bolt action, no clip. Show you how this unibody works here. Get out the screwdriver. You're going to take that T10 Torx. You're going to unscrew right here. And then out comes this top piece. And then your refill is going to come right out. I'm using a Keiko refill. It does come with this nice little spring here. It is a shorter spring than what I see in most other pens. And you put that right back in, put the bolt in, hold that down, get your screw, and screw that back in. So not very hard to do. It is a little more time consuming than a standard two-piece body where you can unscrew the tip. But as long as you've got that T10 Torx, you're good. It did come with some extra parts for the screws that had different heads, not just Torx. Had, I believe, Phillips head, some more standard screw heads that if you didn't have Torx driver, you could still use and swap out with. Now let's get into some comparisons and measurements here. It is a small pen, certainly under 5 inches. You're looking at right at about 4.5 inches. Compare that to the Opmog. A little smaller, especially without the click mechanism of the top. But if you were to take this part out, they're about the same size. A mini G2 Fellholter tickler comes in very close in size. A Q3D Parker, certainly longer at about a little over 5 inches, and then an Urban Survival Gear Bronze Bolt full size, which is the longest of them all. A copper, the Right Choice Painting Company with G2 tip. And then your Bic pen, should you have no machine pens right now. The longest of them all. This pen does take Parker refills, which I showed earlier. I'm using Keiko, but it does take Parker refills. I did try swapping out the spring just to see, and that did not work with the spring I had due to how the pen is built and the tolerances. But I do not have any complaints about the spring that's in there. It is nice and snappy. Getting out the scale, being that this is copper, it will be a bit of a heavier pen. Looking at 68 grams compared to the brass Opmog 48 grams. This one is certainly also thicker than the Opmog, hence some of the weight. Copper the Right Choice Painting Company. That's full copper with just small zirconium parts. 41 grams. The bronze USG Tie Scribe. 46 grams. The Atlantis Q3D, which is all copper. 51 grams, and that titanium Felholter Mini G2, 31 grams. You can see much lighter with the titanium. Getting the calipers out here. So I'll measure at the thickest part of this pen. You're at 0.46 inches compared to that Opmog. You're at 0.42 inches. The Right Choice Painting Company, you're at 0.35, 0.36 inches. Tie Scribe Go, 0.4 inches. Q3D, 0.38 inches. And Felholter Mini G2 Tickler, 0.43 inches. So you can see it's certainly a thick pen as well. If we get out our balance point here, there's the balance point. Really not bad considering the pen, much thicker on the front, skinnier on the back. Balance point's right about here, almost in the middle. Compare that to the Opmog. There's your balance point there, just about centered. Give you a little writing sample on it. Writes really well. I do enjoy using it. There's really no tip wiggle there. The bolt action is very smooth. No complaints on that. This tip wiggle, like I said, pretty much non-existent. It's very comparable to the Opmog, especially this one, which is an older one. I think his tolerance have gotten a little better on them. Not that there's much tip wiggle here either, but if you were to play with it, there's a little more than on the newer ones, which have absolutely none. Regardless with the mono, you're not going to feel that tip wiggle, at least not if you're using this Keiko refill. I have used it as well with an Easy Flow, and again, there was not much tip wiggle there at all. If any, a real joy to write with. Show you some of this finishing up close. That's from that did not come like that. Now this pen does come in, I think, a bit over $250. And that's the part for you to decide if you think that this pen is worth that price. Again, if you're looking for this tapered style, there's not really anything out there other than the Opmog. Opmog's not exactly doing this same tapered style right now, and their prices have been creeping up over the 200 mark. So it's pretty comparable to Opmog as the prices keep climbing. You know, you do not get the clip that this Opmog has, and you're not getting the name recognition to have resale value on the secondary, but there's not a lot of these out there. It's a little more exclusive. It's definitely a fun pen to use, kind of bullet shaped, especially since it doesn't have that clip. But I do recommend it if you're looking for a pen that is small, pocket size, no clip, copper. I know he's making these in some other metals. If that fits the bill, then it's certainly something to look out for. If you're US like I am, you do have to pay some import fees on it. I got a $16 bill from FedEx to import it from Hungary to Tennessee. Not too bad, but that's something also to keep in mind when buying the pen. But again, a really good pen, really solid to use. Don't have many complaints about it. You know, this does not bother me that you see the inside of the pen here. May bother you. My biggest complaint is really just I like to see a more aesthetic screw here for the action. You know, I think this is the only downside that makes it look a little more unfinished than the pen is and takes away a little bit from it. But other than that, functionally, great pen, really comfortable to feel in the hand. I really do like this taper, and it is thicker than the Otmog, which I tend to like thicker pens. I think they feel better in the hand. I like the weight. If that's something you like, then would really consider this. That's what I've got for you today, everyone. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks.